CV Boats presents Florida Sport Fishing, television for the avid angler, powered by Mercury Marine. Oh yeah. On this episode of Florida Sport Fishing.
That's what I'm talking about. Book your spot today.
Florida Sport Fishing TV proudly utilizes and endorses Spool Tech, Hyperlastics, Engage, and Ocean-borne lures. Stay connected with the next generation of innovative and effective soft and hard baits for every venue. Taco Marine, official outrigger system of Florida Sport Fishing TV. Salt Life Optics, anti-glare Zeiss lenses provide unparalleled protection and polarization.
Hey guys, welcome to Florida Sport Fishing TV. I'm Captain Mike and we've got an absolutely epic show in store for you. Let me give you a little bit of, kind of background here and paint the picture. We're aboard the Yankee Captains. This is a 100-foot headboat that sails from Key West year-round. This is the boat, these are the guys, this is the crew that has pioneered dry Tortuga bottom fishing for the last 3 decades. But Captain Greg and the crew, they decided it was time to push the limits. It was time to open the boundaries and to look for and discover new fisheries. So they started fishing an area called Pulley Ridge, 100+ miles way into the Gulf of Mexico. And this is an area unlike no other. It really is. It's one of the, I like to call it the last frontier. Where could you go where you have such vast opportunities in the upper echelons of the water column? We're talking about wahoo, king mackerel, blackfin tuna, sailfish, dolphin. I've seen blue marlin hooked out here, okay? Anything, white marlin. Every pelagic that roams the Gulf of Mexico is out here. On the bottom, forget about it. I mean, absolutely forget about it. We're talking about gag grouper, black grouper, snowy grouper, red grouper, yellow edge grouper, scamp grouper, Warsaw grouper. What other fishery is home to all of these different grouper species in approximately the same area? Throw in the snappers, mutton snapper, ham bone snapper, queen snapper, trophy queen snapper. Then on top of that, you've got African pompano, barrelfish, gray tilefish, golden tilefish. When you put all of this together, it really sets the stage for a fishery like no other. But as of recently, they decided to push that limit, to push the boundaries even further, to discover new fisheries and to really try and find new areas that have been absolutely untouched. And that's what this trip is about. It's 20 guys that are joining us. It's Monday afternoon, and we will not be returning to the dock until Thursday. So we're talking about a long trip. We've got a long steam ahead of us. It's about a 12-hour boat ride in either direction. So we're fishing, as I mentioned, no less than 100 miles, 120 miles. Sometimes, heck, I've been on the boat where we have fished 160 miles from port. This is really the only true long distance, long range headboat trip here in South Florida. Because you have to think that logistically speaking, you've got to be able to feed and to be able to accommodate 20 anglers and 5 crew members, 25 guys for 4 days. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, all of the beverages, hot showers, air-conditioned bunks, everything that's associated with this many guys. And of course, you have to be able to store these fish that everybody catches. So you need giant fish boxes with a lot of ice. There's all these logistics that come into play. Certainly any center console can run out here, fish for 12, 20, 24 hours, whatever it is, catch a few fish, catch a lot of fish. But it's not like this. It's just not like this. This is completely different. So on this trip, we're gonna spend a lot of time talking about the different fisheries. You're gonna see a lot of different species caught. We're gonna talk a lot about the different tackle and techniques. So stick around, because I'm telling you what, this is gonna be a show that you are never gonna forget.
Are you ready for a world-class adventure? Fishing up to 150 miles offshore and always on the hunt for untouched fisheries, the legendary 100-foot Yankee Capts is Florida's premier long-range headboat. Fish around the clock for trophy snapper, grouper, tilefish, tuna, and more. With all the comforts of home and plenty of elbow room, Captain Greg Mercurio and his dedicated crew will put you or your entire charter on a hot bite fishing the famed halfway ledge, Pulley Ridge, and beyond. Rated #1 in service, Yankee Capts sails from Key West year-round.
The award-winning Z Performance line from CV raises the bar. It's not just fast. It's not just fuel efficient. The CVZ is the entire package. It offers the perfect balance, safe, predictable handling during hard turns and at high speed. And most importantly, the Z stays on plane at lower speeds, so it can comfortably handle anything Mother Nature can dish out. Experience the exhilarating ride of the CVZ. Schedule a sea trial today.
When you're in command of a boat with Mercury 400 horsepower Verados, you might start to feel like you're someone that fish should fear, that the water should respect, and that the world should acknowledge. Until you realize you are all those things. The Mercury 400 horsepower Verado. Power, control, and speed in a lightweight package.
Fiberglass. They use it to build boats and yachts because of its strength and durability. And that's exactly what every Frigid Rigid cooler is made out of. This is my set after 12 years, and I keep them outdoors. With industrial grade rubber gasket and stainless steel hinges with backing plates, not a single component has failed on any of them. Can you honestly say that about your coolers? From 35 to 300 quarts, there's a Frigid Rigid cooler, coffin box, or freezer for every boat. Hey guys, welcome back to Florida Sport Fishing TV. If you're just joining us, we're aboard the Yankee Captains. This is a legendary headboat sailing out of Key West, Florida. We're on our annual long-range adventure. We've done this trip for a number of years. Different this year, unique to this season. We're going to be doing a lot of looking, a lot of searching, okay? A lot of discovering, some new fisheries, some new bottom. We're just getting to our deep drop grounds here. We've been steaming for over 12 hours, long ride. We're 120 miles into the Gulf of Mexico, out here in the last frontier. What a lot of guys like to do is troll for wahoo as we're getting to these deep drop grounds before we start bottom fishing. We've already picked off some nice fish in the 40-pound range. Hopefully we'll get a couple more. These waters out here are just absolutely rich in life. Game fish up toward the surface, bottom fish on the bottom. So it's always nice to put a few lures out before we switch gears and hopefully load up on some tile fish and grouper down deep. Stick around, let's see what happens here. Where are you? Still coming? I don't see him yet. Got a pretty decent bite going on here, our first drift. Got anglers lined up and down the side, deep dropping. No, he didn't leave, just looks like a little bit of a tangle. It's always a mixed bag. Could be a queen snapper, gray tilefish, snowy grouper. They're deep dropping out here on this bottom. There's so many ledges, so many spots. There's your fish, I see him.
Yeah.
Right there.
Close?
Yeah, he's coming, just keep going, keep going. No, keep going. Looks like a tilefish. Right, no. Okay, now reel by hand. Reel by hand. Small queen. Nice. Stop. Nice job. You got him. That's your fish. All right. You know, we talked before about regulations, about how many fish you're allowed to keep. And I was stressing that it's a 2-day limit. I think it's important to reiterate that. 2 days. So if each angler is allowed 10 snapper per day aggregate, combined with all of your snappers, you would then be allowed 20 snapper, so on and so forth. So a 2-day limit. Come on, I got 270 feet to go. He's still digging, about to guess, hoping big queen maybe. But I'll tell you, every one of these trips that we've gone on, everyone has been different. And you can't judge the trip until the end, you know, because sometimes the beginning of the trip will be fire, sometimes middle of the day you'll have great deep dropping, on other occasions the nighttime bite, sometimes all of it, sometimes it could be the last drift of the day and last drift of the trip that just blows wide open 200 feet to go. And that really just makes your whole trip. That rod, it's a 8-foot Florida sport fishing technique specific bottom fishing rod. Certainly can fish that rod with a manual conventional reel for mutton snappers, red snappers, groupers. And I just pair it with the Seaborg 800 when doing this light duty deep dropping. You know, back in the day, deep dropping, everybody associated it with these big heavy reels that never left the rod holders, never left the gunnels, and the sport factor there was very limited. But with today's technology and everything getting smaller and more compact and more versatile and faster, you can do this kind of fishing and still really enjoy it to its fullest. Had them on the top hook right there. Again, that VMC 9.0 right in the corner. And again, these queens, you know, certainly guys will go all the way to the Bahamas to catch these queen snappers. Middle of the Keys on the Atlantic side, Isle Morada, Marathon, offshore, they'll catch these queens. We don't see them as much in our home waters outside Hillsborough Inlet. I should say we don't see them at all in our home waters outside Hillsborough Inlet. But you get into the Gulf out here, into this deep water, you've got this prime habitat, and you can get on these beautiful fish and really put an awesome catch together. This fishery out here, it's a year-round fishery. These fish live here, but of course it's weather-driven, conditions-driven. Right now, July 2020, about 186 degrees out in the shade. But unfortunately, again, in the wintertime, it's a little challenging to find that stretch of 3 to 5 days to come out and have, you know, consistently good weather. So mostly spring through the fall. And I tell you what, they're busy, back to back to back. So if this is something that you want to do, which I highly recommend, make sure you visit yankeecapts.com. Of course, we'll put the website up on the screen. You'll be able to get the lowdown on all of the different trips, here he comes, that they offer. And book your spot today. Today. Ooh, look at that. There we go, look at that. I mean, look at that thing. Absolutely awesome. Glass eye, that is, that's a glass eye snapper. And I mean, you could see from his eyeball why they get that name. Beautiful fin structure when he's all flared out like that. I mean, look at those huge fins, those pec fins and that giant dorsal. Really hardy fish. Super tough leather-like skin. I mean, look at that cheekbone right there. It's like, you know, super hard. And I think what's most impressive is that mouth on that fish.
Pro's Tip, brought to you by Wind Rider, the finest foul weather gear for any climate.
Nice about this Daiwa Seaborg Mega Twin. You've got the low speed and the high speed. And a lot of guys will ask me, do I need a 2-speed reel when I'm deep dropping? And the answer is no, you certainly don't. But having that high speed when you're just bringing it up to check your bait might save you a minute each time. And while that doesn't seem significant, add that up by hundreds of times over a couple of day deep drop trip. And ultimately that's going to result in a couple of saved, I don't want to say hours, but a lot of time that's going to allow you to put more fish in the boat. So there's certainly advantage to having that high speed when checking the bait, while that low speed, that power gear is really important for hauling heavy fish up from the bottom. Nice feature, but not necessary. on the jig. Woo!
That's grouper dynamo.
Yeah! How's that for a sea monster?
Chaos. Gear matters. Shop online or visit our new superstore for everything fishing.
Boats get dirty. That's a fact. Thankfully, Rejuvenate Marine uses patented nanotechnology to make your boat cleaning faster and easier, literally cutting your cleaning time in half. Watch this. With highly concentrated biodegradable ingredients across their complete line of cleaning and care products, Rejuvenate Marine lasts longer while providing professional cleaning power that's safe for all surfaces and for the environment. Rejuvenate Marine. Spend more time fishing and less time cleaning. The complete line of Rejuvenate Marine cleaning and care products is now available at Boat Owners Warehouse. Visit your local superstore or shop online and see the difference for yourself. Even these fish with this power assist equipment, you know, I've said this so many times, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but I can't stress it enough how important finesse is in this fishery. You know, it's not just sock it all the way down, lock up the drag, and haul them up. You know, just take your time, bring them up nice and slow, nice and steady. And what we're doing today is really searching around, investigating a lot of new spots. You know, and think about that. This area is so rich out here. I'm certain, of course, you know, Captain Greg has got countless spots he can go fish that he knows he can put us on the fish, but that's not what we signed up for. We knew it right out of the gate. Everybody knew it. And you've watched us over the years. We've come out and done dry Tortugas trips aboard the Yankee Captains. We've done slow pitch jigging trips where the whole trip was focused on slow pitch jigging. And of course, this trip is a mix. It's nice to be well prepared. You know, that's the key when you come out on these trips, is having both, because you don't know. They're going to respond to the metal on some trips better. The conditions are going to be ideal for the jig fishing, and on other trips, the meat. So you've got to be ready with the metal and the meat, okay, to take advantage of every opportunity that comes your way. Yeah, that's a double header right there. That's a double header right there, baby. That's a double header queen snapper. Woohoo! Double header queen snapper. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. Thank you, sir. How about that? Right there.
Rigging Station, brought to you by Diamond Fishing, the finest monofilament, fluorocarbon, and braided fishing line.
Hey guys, let's talk in detail about this deep drop rig. It's real important. This is something that we're using out here, but it's an extremely versatile rig. Certainly you can fish this rig along the East Coast, anywhere throughout the Gulf of Mexico, out in the deep water, and of course in the Bahamas as well. It's not a fancy schmancy 5-hook rig with a bunch of glow beads and glow tube. You really just don't need all of that, okay? I found that a nice, clean, stealthy rig that's quiet is really gonna catch you a lot more fish, especially the larger trophy fish, the big queens, etc. So I always start my deep drop rigs with 150-pound diamond extra hard leader material. It's a stiff leader material, really strong, helps prevent the rig from twisting up and getting destroyed, so that trunk line and the branches are both on that same 150 extra hard, and that's the basis, the foundation for the entire rig. Right up at the top, and we'll start at the top and work our way down, is 150-pound ball bearing, or even just a regular barrel swivel. That's real important to help prevent twist, because remember, that sinker is going to spin on the way down and it's going to spin on the way back up. So you need to incorporate as many swivels as you can within reason to avoid all of that tangling and all of that twist. As we work our way down from that barrel swivel, we use these little swivel sleeves right there. Now, some guys will use 3-way swivels that they tie. Some guys will use three-way swivels that they crimp. Certainly whatever, you know, works for you. I like the swivel sleeves. Number one, you only need one crimp rather than three in this particular point, and they're real easy to work with. From there, my branch is approximately 18 inches. I don't like it too close to the trunk line. I prefer to give it a little bit of freedom, a little bit of movement, makes the bait look a little bit more natural. I've got my BMC 9.0 inline circle hook connected again with that same crimp. Okay, so really solid connections that I can rely on. A few feet down, 3 or 4 feet down, I've got a second hook. Same exact configuration, 18 to 24 inches, and it's about 12 inches above the lead, above the loop for the lead. We're fishing 32 ounces, 2 pounds. In these conditions, it's perfect. However, we also have 3-pound and 4-pound leads. So obviously we'll adjust accordingly depending on the conditions and the depth that we're fishing. What's important is really the spread on these hooks. I like to have one hook real close to the bottom. You're gonna find that's where you're gonna catch the majority of your tile fish. The big gray tile fish, the golden tile fish are gonna eat that bottom hook. And then I like to have a hook that's higher up in the water column, and you're gonna find that your queen snappers and even your snowy and yellow edge grouper are primarily gonna be on that top hook there. So spend the time, rig it right, and you'll stay tight. Get hooked up, shop online, and get your hands on the same proven tackle you see on Florida Sport Fishing TV. Our entire selection of technique-specific rods, deadly jigs sold rigged and ready to fish, performance apparel, headwear, drinkware, and even vivid life-size wall murals to show off your trophy catch. All of this and so much more in stock and ready for immediate delivery. Enter FSF TV at checkout and receive a special gift.
What if navigating was as simple as touch and go? It is that simple. The world's first multi-touch MFD chart plotter, Navnet TZ Touch.
Florida Sport Fishing TV proudly utilizes and endorses Boat Outfitters, where owners and builders go for replacement parts and hard-to-find hardware. MotorGuide, precise maneuverability equals better fishing. Tropic Trailer, Florida's largest dealer has the right trailer at the right price.
Hi, and welcome back to Florida Sport Fishing TV. You've been watching an absolutely awesome episode. We're aboard the Yankee Captains out of Key West. We've got 20 or so guys on board with us, and we are just having an absolutely epic trip thus far. We're just closing out our first day. We left yesterday afternoon, we steamed all night, ran way out here, well over 100 miles into the Gulf of Mexico, spent the day deep dropping, and I'll tell you what, we had an absolutely awesome time. We learned a lot, like we always do on this boat, and I think everybody did. And I'll tell you what, we caught a wide variety of different species. The day was really highlighted by queen snapper, which is unusual. You know, these trophy fish are just absolutely beautiful in appearance. They're hard fighters, mixed size. You know, we caught queen snappers that were 1 pound and 21 pounds. It was really, really awesome. We also had a lot of big gray tile fish. That was certainly, you know, welcome. Some groupers mixed in, yellow edge, snowy grouper, some big scamps too, man. And I'll tell you what, those scamps are absolutely, they're a beautiful fish. They're highly prized. We had some oddball species in there, some glass eye snapper called toros, some of the largest ones I've ever seen. These things look like they're from a different planet. They've got this big glassy eye, this incredible fin structure, this broad, bright red body. I'll tell you, that is just something that you don't see every day. Amberjacks, okay, big AJs, and I mean, I'm talking about fish in the 50 to 80 pound range, along with some big almacos, 20 to 40 pound almacos. Man, and there was probably so much more that I just can't even get into. We were, like I said, deep dropping with power assist equipment, but also doing some jig fishing as well. Guys were fishing jigs and picking away on a variety of different species on the jigs. So it was really nice to see that combination and that versatility of being able to fish that bait with that power assist equipment under your arm, or to drop those jigs down. Even in that deep water, we had flat calm conditions, very little current, okay, so it was really just an ideal scenario. So we just made a big move because, again, during the day on that deep drop fishery, we're fishing that 400 to 600, 700 feet of water, but at night we come inshore. We come up on the bank here and that's what we call it, the bank, the edge, whatever you'd like to call it, in approximately 200 to 220 feet of water. And up here, there's no deep dropping. We're not using the electric tackle. We're fishing either the manual gear and fishing bait, or we're jig fishing. And that's really what's exciting to us too, is having that opportunity to fish with these slow pitch jigs up here for mutton snappers, red groupers, blackfin tuna. This is a completely different fishery than that deep drop fishery. And if you've never done this trip, you've got to put it on your bucket list, because it is something that you will remember forever.
To learn more about the tactics and techniques seen on today's show, and to subscribe to Florida Sport Fishing Magazine, visit floridasportfishing.com and get hooked up.